This episode contains strong written and verbal language for cultural and holiday fun purposes. Viewer discretion is advised. Myths are not stories that are untrue. Rather, they are tales that don't fit neatly into the historical record, which serve as a foundation to a culture. Happy Yuletide, everyone! Just as we've done in years past, we've gathered around the fire once again for another tale of holiday creatures. In previous episodes, we've told you the story of older, darker Christmas beings, such as Krampus and the sinister Yule Lads. So I can't wait to see what horrors Rob has prepared for us this year. So what are we doing, man? Is it Mary Lud, the rhyme-spitting skull horse of Wales? Ooh, or how about the baby-stealing Christmas demons of Greece? Huh? Oh, or a whole new book. Where's this going? We begin today's tale in Catalonia, on the coast of northern Spain, where the winters are cool, but the snow is rare, apart from the high peaks of the Pyrenees. But no mythological monsters lurk in this picturesque wonderland of lit plazas and Christmas markets. Nothing grotesque or bizarre. Just nativity scenes, sweet nougat called turron, a toasty fireplace, and the tradition of a happy little log who poops presents. This winter tale is brought to you by Pixel Game Maker MV. To find out what we're entering into their game challenge, stay tuned until after the story. It's December 8th, the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, and in Catalonia, a family is out in the woods, for it's a special day where they search for a special friend. Their ancestors have done something similar since the Middle Ages, when they would look for a tree to cut down for firewood and burn a piece of it every night during the holiday season, a version of the Yule log tradition. But this family is not out to find just any log, but Tío de Nadal, the Christmas log. Now, the Tío might be hiding behind a tree root or among the bushes. Oh, aha! A young girl spots him up in a tree. Come on down here, little log. You know, their mother says, in the old days, the Tío didn't have a painted face or nose, or even a traditional Catalan hat. Not even these little legs. And in the heart of Barcelona, with no access to the forest, children might even find Tío on their doorstep and not in the woods at all. But this family is lucky to live near nature and be able to find this happy little Tío in the wild to take him home. Because soon, the Tío will work its magic on Christmas. But in order for that to happen, the children have to treat him well. After all, he's so cold after being out in the chilly winter night. So they place him by the fireplace and spread a blanket over him to keep the Tío warm. Then, most importantly, they feed the Tío, gorge him with sweets, oranges, and maybe even a little port or wine. In fact, each night until Christmas Eve, they'll lay out all these treats, knowing that he's eaten them because of the leftover orange peels, cookie crumbs, and empty glasses they find the next morning. And the children want him nice and fat, well-fed so he can brew up the presents that they so want. Because it's important to remember, the Tío doesn't bring presents, he poops them. That's why he's also known as Caga Tió. Shitlog. Now, many people from outside Spain translate that as poop to remain polite. But that's not quite correct. It means shit. And permitting children to swear a little is part of the tradition's fun. Besides, if you change it, it messes up the song, which you'll understand very soon. But on Christmas Eve, or sometimes Christmas Day, when Caga Tió is nice and full to bursting, they move him closer to the fire and start the festivities. The children will rush to another room, instructed not to look at the Tío until called back. Then while waiting, they pray to God that Caga Tió will defecate delicious candies, hazelnuts, dried fruit, and perhaps small presents like gift cards or toys. But they especially want the Catalonian specialty turron, a nut-filled nougat. Then when they return, the children all take up sticks, surround the Tío, and begin to smack him silly. All the while, they sing a song, which I'm going to attempt now, but please be gentle, comment section. I practiced this a bunch, but Catalan is definitely not my native language. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Caga Tió, caga torrons, de vayas opiniano, non gangues arengadas, que son más asaladas. Caga torrón, que son mes bons. Caga Tió, ushino dunare, un cop de basto. Now that rendition was just one variation of the song. There are actually many of them, some of which quite lengthy, but they all end in the same way, with the children reaching under the blanket to grab a gift or treat. Or sometimes, their parents might simply lift the blanket so the family can behold the mound of succulent treats the Tío pooped out for them. And then they clear all the presents away and do it again. In fact, they keep going into the other room, coming back to beat the Tio and receiving presents until the Tio is empty of all of his defecated goodies. An act which he signals by finally crapping out a salted herring, or an onion, or a clove of garlic, or even urinating a bowl of water. Then everyone shares the gifts, because anything given by the Tio is communal property and therefore should be enjoyed as a group. It's both magical tradition and rhyme game, with the added spice of uncertainty over how long the presents will keep paying out. In the old days, the Tio might then be put on the fire to burn, his ashes kept for good fortune, or spread on any crops the family might have. But more often than not, these days, he frequently disappears to a deep closet after Christmas, making way for the bigger gifts. Because Tio de Nadal only brings the small presents. The larger ones come on January 6th, the Feast of the Epiphany, when the three kings who visited Jesus in the Nativity come flying in on their camels, giving Catalonian children presents much like Santa, who, due to the prevalence of American culture, sometimes pays a visit as well. The presence of the three kings is a good reminder that in Catalonia, many Christmas traditions are still tied to Catholicism. For the most popular decoration there is not a tree or a stocking, but a nativity. With classic biblical characters like Mary, Joseph, the baby Jesus, the shepherds, this man taking a dump, and the three... sorry, what? You want me to go back to the baby Jesus? Or... oh, no, the pooping man, right. Sure, that's the caganer, the shitter. A necessary inclusion in any Catalan nativity scene. Caganer's origins remain obscure, but he's a man in traditional Catalan peasant garb, who people believe helps, well, make the new year fertile. Kind of in the same way people pooping in the fields used to make crops fertile. Huh, that's it. That's all we got? Other than the fertility thing, we don't actually know where this comes from? But hold on, okay, the pooping guy, the pooping log, why all the pooping? It doesn't really make any sense. What are you talking about? Of course Santa makes sense. He used to be the Bishop of Turkey, right? But now he lives in the remote North Pole where he runs a factory full of elves that make the exact same toys a parent can get from the store, and then once a year he gets in his sleigh, pulled by flying reindeer, climbs down your chimney, even if you don't have one, and yeah, okay, you know, now that I'm hearing it out loud, no, I get it. Santa does not make sense either. So why do people do any of this? Simple. It's fun. And it's good to remember that sometimes a cultural practice or story lives on through the ages because it's enjoyable. Traditions like Caga Tió have survived due to them being silly and playful, which is pretty neat when you really think about it. And thus we are at the close of another holiday extra mythology. And hey, if your country has a wonderful or weird piece of winter lore, we'd love to hear about it in the comments. Who knows? You might just inspire our holiday story next year. But until then, let's finish off this year in a spirit of warmth, companionship, and beating the poop out of a happy little log. Come on, everyone.
Caga Tió, caga turrons,
Once again, thanks so much to Pixel Game Maker MV for sponsoring this episode. Say, do you wanna log a little extra time in with the EC crew over the holidays? Then come join us over on our Twitch channel as we craft a game for the Pixel Game Maker MV Game Challenge. Will and the community are working on our entry every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until early February. So if that sounds like something you'd like to be a part of, we'd love for you to come by and talk through its design with us. Legendary patron roll call! Ahmed Ziad Turk, Alicia Bramble, Casey Muscha, Dominic Valenciana, Gunnar Clovis, Kyle Murgatroyd, and O'Reels1. Thank you so much.